Hello and welcome to another episode of the Get Out of Gaming Plus podcast. I am one of your hosts, Ben.
I am Alex.
We are a bi weekly podcast. We talk about everything nerdy in your nerdy world, whether it would be video games, anime, comics, toys, movies, basically whatever we want to talk about at that time frame. And we're on every place you probably get a podcast from Spotify to Apple, Pandora, you name it. Love for you guys to hit a follow on Spotify for us. Does wonders for our numbers and just shows you kind of like us. And even if you don't like us, do it anyway. Um, Also, we have a YouTube version that posts on Friday. So it yeah, it's a double whammy of get out of gaming and seeing us every other week. This week will be very interesting. So we are actually going to do our predictions for 2024. I already had to take one out because I did too many. Alex laughed at it and goes, "That's just so far fetched. It's not going to happen." So yeah. So how was your weekend? How's your week been?
It's been okay. Not really too much going on. I had Persona, so that's a thing. Um, Persona 3. So there is I don't know if I told you this, so let's get right into it. So there's a sale at GameStop all the time, and I never knew it. There's
What's
something where if you buy $250 worth of stuff, you get $25 back.
really
And I picked up my Persona, and I also picked up my friend's Persona since we just put it on my account because it's just easier. We're both gonna be there at the same time, and so we pick it up, both of them. Mine's collector's edition, so it's like the $200 one. His is like not, so it's like the $70 one. And then all of a sudden, start picking it up and stuff, and the guy was like, "Oh, do you want to use your $5 off coupon or whatever?" I'm like, "Sure." And then he's like, "Wait a minute, I owe you $25. That's weird." And we're like, "What?" And so he gave me $25 out of the register.
like cash?
Mhm.
That seems weird.
So I guess because there is that sale always, and because I picked it up, we technically overpaid for Personas. And so they had to give us the $25 instead of having $25 off. Um,
So what you're saying is GameStop actually did something to help you out.
kind of, I guess. I don't know. $25 isn't a
I mean,
whole lot. Yeah. I mean, it's something, I guess, but like it was just kind of weird. Just like, okay, I didn't understand why, and then until I went to a different GameStop later that weekend, um, I saw a sign that said like, "Hey, you get this when you purchase stuff. It doesn't include pre-orders, but it includes like pickups and stuff like that." And so, yeah, I guess if you buy stuff over $250, you get $25 back. So
which
I
I
don't
find
know.
great.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know if it
great.
includes like one item or whatever. Like if you just buy like an Xbox, I don't know if it's gonna just give you $25 off of that Xbox. I really don't know.
That's crazy. I have not spent a large amount of money at GameStop, even during the holidays. I didn't spend a ton of money, but I mean, that's a pretty cool thing. I think for me personally, the next time I'm actually in GameStop is, if I buy a Switch 2 when they release that information or whatever. Mostly because I can put down like $100 and then pay it off.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. It's funny. I was actually going to ask you, how are you? Because I know I missed your stream the other day. I apologize. Man, that day's basketball day for us, and by the time I get done with all that, I'm wiped. How was playing Persona the other night streaming?
Well, I barely played it. I guess that's the answer because it's a Persona game, right? Um,
Yes.
I don't know what to say. It's it's Persona 3 nicer. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing just yet. I'm enjoying certain things and aspects of it, but because I'm so early in, I don't know all the differences just yet. There are some things that I miss in this game. Example being, there was like, instead of having anime cutscenes for a lot of different things, instead they do like the CG cutscenes instead, like how Persona 5 did. Or I guess Royal did for certain things. I don't know if 5 necessarily did, because I know 5 had regular anime cutscenes too. But it's very like cinematic, like CG cutscenes and things happening. And so like that didn't really do it for me personally. I enjoyed the anime cutscenes a lot. The music is different, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. Like they're just like remixes of old songs. One of them's really really good. The other one is just going to take some time to get used to. Um, but overall, I mean, it's Persona 3. I mean, Persona 3 is a really good game, and so having a new version of Persona 3 out for everyone to actually play, I think is a good thing for RPG players and all of that. I my experience with Persona 3 is playing Fez, so that's the PS2 version, and then I played the PSP version portable. I own it on like Switch as well, portable, because I got like a 2-pack or something. And I'm not a huge fan of portable, because portable just like, yes, it has extra features, but it takes so many things out that I just don't enjoy it as much. Um so having a game that's very faithful to like the original, but then also has updated features, I think 3 is going to be a pretty fun time. I will stress and say though that I am playing this with Japanese vocals. I'm not playing with English, just because I want a different experience, and I feel like if I'm going to go in other people's streams and see them play, I'm going to hear the English all the time. So I'd rather listen to the Japanese. That, and I played in English before. I played in English in the other two versions. But I will say the cast, except Elizabeth, um, who is not, it's I guess it's not a spoiler. For you, Elizabeth equals Margaret.
Okay.
So like there's Elizabeth, she has short hair, and then there's Margaret with the long hair. Um, she's just like the guide in the Velvet Room for 3. And she, I guess, has the same voice actor. Everyone in English, everyone else has a different voice actor in that game. They all do phenomenal jobs. Everything I've heard from that game, clips, other people playing and streaming and stuff. The new cast is excellent. Mitsuru, especially, and the new Junpei is really good as well. Iori, but yeah, I just wanted a different experience, so I played it this way. Because again, probably gonna listen to all this stuff anyway in other people's streams, so why not play it as I want to, and then I can listen to it when other people are doing it. But yeah, it's definitely a fun time. I've barely done anything. I think I was like almost 3 hours 3 hours in. I was exploring quite a lot though, because it allowed me to, so I could see some stuff. And there are things like, there are Easter eggs that were hinting at future events in the game, and like future social links and stuff. So I thought that was pretty neat, that you could like see people talk and hear them talk about certain things, like like your club mates or whatever, like stuff like
Hmm.
that. Like you would see them before you even have an opportunity to even talk to them. Like you just see like two of them just like talking, and then you can hear their conversation, and it's actually like voice. Like for the certain ones like that, it's actually voice, so you can hear them speak. Um, but combat's interesting. I mean, it's still Persona, but um, nothing too much just yet. Just because I haven't been able to control anyone yet, because I'm still in like tutorial mode. Like I just finished like the first dungeon. So the way that, this isn't really spoilers, I guess. The way that Persona 3 works, instead of Persona 4, to put this in perspective for you, um, Persona 3 doesn't have multiple dungeons. It has one dungeon that you just keep climbing up and up and up, and every floor is procedurally generated.
Okay.
And so it's instead of like instead of with 4 where you're like, oh, you're in a castle, you're in this place, you're in this place. It's, hey, you're climbing through a thing called Tartarus, and you're just trying to get to the top, and you'll eventually be blocked, and then that's when you have to go do like um actual story stuff, and then hey, there's the door is unlocked, and then you can keep going and going and going until end game. Because yeah, bosses tend to be in not in Tartarus. Tartarus is where like side mid bosses are, or just the grind, the main grinding of the game, the main gameplay. But yeah, I'm streaming it. I'm looking forward to playing more of it. I just don't know when I'll find the time, so I kind of regret saying that it's a streaming game. But also there just needs to be something for streaming, I believe, and I feel like I would put this on the back burner if I wasn't streaming it. Even though I really like Persona, I don't think I would go through it all the way if I wasn't streaming it. So
It's pretty crazy because you brought up 4. So any of our listeners didn't know this. I've been playing 4. I ask Alex stuff all the time. So I'm about 8.5 hours in. I'm really feeling like I'm starting to get the game down. My goal is to finish it here, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, so I can start on Final Fantasy. Um, I don't know. I've had a couple breaks to play Halo.
you
Um,
stop that.
I know I do, but I wanted to play the new map pack stuff. Um, what I've been doing is, if I'm going to play Halo, I play at least an hour or so of Persona, and then I play about an hour of Halo. It's usually what it is. So I'm kind of there, and I have to have a bone to pick with you because of you talking about the TV show Suits. It is shown up on my TikTok, and so I have started watching that.
Get
I'm
ready
only
to stop watching it after the 2 main characters leave, because the show just gets worse.
yeah. So I'm I think 3 episodes in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still really early in the thing, and so I to this day, Lewis is still one of my favorite characters because you don't really know where his loyalty lies.
He's so good.
He all he ever wanted was to be part of the cool club with Harvey. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Harvey Specter is the coolest lawyer ever, uh, and so that's what he wants. He wants to be on that cool side, but they always have issues. I think when it first came out, I got to season 4, and that was it. And so I know there's more seasons than that. And I do want to check out. I know people are going to give me crap, but I do want to check out the series with just Jessica. I want to at least check it out to see what it's about.
Yeah,
The
that should all be on
Peacock,
Peacock.
I think,
Yeah.
right? Because I can't watch Ted a second time. So
No matter how much you want to.
I did watch it. I've watched it twice, by the way.
Yeah.
And I can't call a favorite episode. The Christmas episode's pretty good.
That's probably the best one.
Yeah.
With
The one where
Yeah.
the one where Susan became a teacher. That just, oh my gosh, but like every time you get done with an episode, like, oh my god, that was so good. The next episode is even better than that. So yes,
I'm just thinking about the what is it? The mall security man just singing Pippin.
yeah, yes. Oh my god, when they try to steal a Sega Genesis.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, no, that's a great show. Yeah, now that I have Peacock, at least for now, I've been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine as kind of like a background show, like when I'm cleaning or doing stuff like that. And I think I'm on season 5. I'm really close to the end, I feel, because like I don't know if you ever watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but like there's a certain point where 2 characters like are married or are getting married, so I'm pretty close to the end because I think it ends fairly soon after that.
Yeah, I didn't get past season 1. Although I do think, and hear me out, Digital Peacock, I think you should watch the Five Nights movie only because, and here's the thing is people are like, oh God, Matthew Lillard's awesome. You're going to see him at the beginning and you're going to see him at the end, and that's it. He had very minimal scenes in that movie, but for what it was, I thought it was pretty good. Did I think it was scary? No, I don't think it was. Um,
I'm good.
would I
I'm not
would I
saying
let my young kids watch it? Absolutely not. Um, I watched it with my 15-year-old, and then my 17-year-old watched it, and they got a good kick out of it. Uh, it's just all fun, you know. But today we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about our predictions. And one of the other episodes we kind of went through where we were at, we were kind of tied, if I remember correctly. Um, so I these are just so everyone knows, these are not in any order. We picked 5 specifically. None of these in order. None of them are like, oh, this is my number 1, this is my number 5. No. So I'm gonna let Alex go. You know what? I'm gonna go first because that's what I always do, is make you go. So, but I'm scared that you have some of these on there. So,
maybe I'm the reverse.
uh,
Maybe I have the reverse ones of those.
and just so everyone knows that's listening and watching, we don't know what anyone has on their list. Um, I did have 6, and I put on there that Injustice will have a trailer this year, Injustice 3, and then Alex said, nope, that's not happening. And so that was my 6th one I took off because we only have 5. If Alex has a 6th one on there, it's probably that Ben will buy Grand Theft Auto 5 again. But I've been pretty good on that one. I've been pretty good. So I'm going to start off with one of mine here. I'm going to say that when the Nintendo Switch 2 launches this year, it will launch with Mario Odyssey 2. Look at you. You're already laughing of like, I don't see it. I think there's a good possibility of it.
Do you want me to go right into my other one? Because it's similar.
I'll let you go into your other one too. Yeah.
Switch 2 will not come out this year.
I think they need to.
I don't think it needs to. I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be next year, springtime.
I think as much as they talk about it, it will be this year. And hear me out. Like over the last couple of Christmases, where have the Switch sales been? They've been good, but they've not been great. I
No,
remember,
but attachment for like software and stuff is so good right now that I
oh
don't
yeah,
think they need to do that. But also like there's how many OLEDs and like special versions and stuff nowadays. Like I think that they can, we might see something at E3 or E3. But we
E3,
yeah, we might see something like Game Fest or whatever, but
right?
I don't think it's going to come out this year. If it does, then sure, maybe it'd be like November, December, but I really think it's going to be March of next year.
I, I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I think they want to get to this market why it's good. Um, I think I thought about doing like, oh, be this, so have this. I don't want to speculate on anything. The only reason why is I'm not cheating, but I did read that at CDC that's coming up, they're having a closed door conference with video game um, people that make video games there. So that's how I know that there's probably a done product. They're probably going to show the actual product there. Um, I think with as much hype that has been brought up about this system, they really should launch it this year. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. So mine was this with the Switch launching this year with Mario Odyssey 2. Yours was that they will not launch it this year; it'll be next year. Uh, which I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think if it does launch, it will launch with Mario Odyssey 2? Because it's been a very long time since we've seen that game came out when the Switch launched.
A 3D Mario is a safe bet. I don't think it necessarily be an Odyssey 2. If anything, because like the GameCube release with the Luigi's Mansion.
Yep.
I don't think this is smart, but I think that this could be another attachment and they could release it with or very close to Metroid Prime 4. I don't think Metroid Prime
Mhm.
4 will come out day and date with it because there's no like I don't know. Like that doesn't make sense for attachment reasons. Like, oh yeah, Bobby, you're 10 years old. You're gonna go play some Metroid. It's like, no, you're not necessarily gonna do that. So yeah, I think like a Mario would be safe. A Luigi would be safe. They could do something related to the movie. Maybe they'll do a new 3D Mario that looks like the new movie that recently came out. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily that it could be. Actually, no, I take that back. Animal Crossing is not going to be a launch
No.
title. No. Mario Kart could be though. Mario Kart
Yeah, I
9
mean,
could be. Yeah.
I think we haven't had a Mario Kart like a new one in a
Man, when
bit.
when we like turn that on, did you like download the tracks as well with your Nintendo Switch thing? Because like that's a whole other game when you go to
Oh
the
yeah.
DLC section and it just has everything full. That's awesome. Like that was the first time like a few weeks ago when we played on the stream. That was the first time I ever played Mario Kart after any of the DLC came out. I was like, wow, this is awesome. There's so many cool tracks here. And I don't blame them for not making a Mario Kart 9 or I guess a 10 at this point because I bet tour counts as 9. Um but yeah, seeing a new Mario Kart I think could be a good like launch title maybe, but yeah, again, I don't think it's going to be an Odyssey per se.
I do think we when you brought that up, so when I was updating it and getting ready to play with you guys, I was like, "Oh, look, I can download all these because I have the Nintendo Switch online service." And I will
Mhm.
tell you, when that first came out with that price point of $80, it's like this is kind of not where I want to be, like price point wise. But as I've used it, as I've seen things come out for it, it's definitely worth the money.
Yeah.
Especially PlayStation Plus is $160 a year now for the
Mhm.
top tier. Which, by the way, mine expires later this month, and I have no plans to do anything except for the lowest tier
Yeah.
for right now. But when my Nintendo Switch Online does, I will renew that for the whole $80.
I think middle tier has a sale right now where it's the cost
I'll
the
have to look.
same as low, but
I'll have to go look. But I think you're right. It's going to be something Mario that's there. Um, okay, so let me do another one of mine here since you did yours really quick. You'll love this one. So, PlayStation VR 2 will have a very large or decent price drop in 2024. And the reason I'm saying that is we just had a state of play not too long ago. They showed a couple things. Um, the PlayStation 2 VR right now is dry. There is not a bunch of new stuff come out. They do have some stuff coming that
mhm.
has promised to come and it will come out, but I feel like they came in with such a high price point on that machine, that VR unit, and which caused the meta to go up in price because they're like, oh well, if they could do it, we could do it. But the meta's still under that price, and a
Yeah.
lot of the games they've shown have been on the meta. So my son has the Meta 3, got it for Christmas, and looking at it, I'm like, okay, so this isn't like what the PlayStation VR 2 says it's going to do. But for me, it still looked pretty decent. So I think they're just, and I don't think it's going to happen until maybe summer, or it's not part of my prediction. This is just me talking. I think between either summer or fall before Christmas, they'll do a price drop. I really think they'll do that. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know because all these other more expensive things are coming out, like the Apple one and all of that. I think they're still going to keep the price point because out of all the others, the the PlayStation 1 isn't that much more expensive compared to the others. So I don't think they really need to do a price discount there. I think they should, but that doesn't mean they need to. So it's possible, sure. I just don't remember how long it took for the original PSVR to get discounted because I think that took at least 2 years. Um,
Yeah.
and so this is only the second year now, coming up here soon in February. So yeah, I'm not sure, honestly. It
Well,
really
and it's
depends.
hard to because the Apple one is so unique, but it's also isn't it $3,500 for the Apple one?
No,
I know it's expensive.
it's like 1,200 maybe or something, 1,300.
Yeah, I just
It looks really
I
good though.
oh, it does. I just don't see these units flying off the shelves. And you don't. Here's the crazy thing: if you ever want to know what's selling really well and how well it's selling, you go on eBay and look.
Mm.
So if you go on eBay for the portable streaming unit that came out this last year, they're all over there. They're about 160, $170, or I think they're maybe more now. Uh, I think they're more.
Which one?
They're really what's the new one that just came out from PlayStation?
Oh, the PlayStation Portal.
Yeah, maybe it's more. They're not they're a little bit over what retail is,
Hmm.
and they're everywhere on eBay. You type it in, they're like tons of them everywhere.
I got it's a little sidetrack here. I don't think I talked about it to you. Maybe not. I got a Backbone recently. I finally used that like yesterday, a couple days ago. I played some really cool game. Like I played Celeste on it, and it was really nice. Like there was hardly any lag from my PlayStation 5 to my phone. With PlayStation remote play and all that stuff. So like yeah, the features now. So yeah, definitely like the streaming thing. Like
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's definitely worth it for sure.
yeah. But like if you type in the PlayStation 2 VR, there's barely any because they're easily accessible to get. I don't think I've seen anyone that's sold out. So we'll have to wait and see. But here's the thing: if it does drop in price, are you gonna get one or no? Because I still will not get one unless it's dirt cheap.
Depends. It also depends on how easy it is to connect to all this. Because I'd like something that I could connect to my computer, and use for like three CG VR games on like Steam or what have you. Because I know there's a way to do it with your regular PlayStation VR, but I just don't. I've never really tried it, and also just sitting over there, it's probably all gross and dusty. Like I don't want to touch that thing. It's old. It's ancient.
My son's. I was upstairs the other day, and he has this junk drawer, and I'm like, it just was thrown in there. I was like, "Do you not care about this?" He goes, "The only game I really cared about was Iron Man, and it's coming to Meta." But I said, "Well, they just released that Star Wars, but it's upgraded." He goes, "Here, check my Meta 3," and so he had that Star Wars one running on there. I know it's not the one that's the capabilities of running on the PlayStation VR 2, but damn, did it not look good.
Mm.
Um, it was kind of great because you can like do all this Jedi stuff. Like you could just randomly walking through town and choke slam people, which is great. Um, but you can call them over and you could use the force. It's really great. Like one, I threw somebody in the air and then I threw my lightsaber at him. Yeah, but we'll have to wait and see. So, Alex, what is another one of yours?
So we're on number two, right? That's what I'm trying to double check. Yeah, this is kind of topical, especially recent topical. But so we'll find out the answer here probably next week. Um, Xbox will continue to sell consoles, but will occasionally release games multi-platform, like Indiana Jones. So it's kind of like what's is happening right now in the news with everything, like that whole thing about a lot of their big games are going to be multi-platform and all this stuff. But then there's a question of are they still going to sell their systems? Are they just going the Sega route where there's just nothing but just your third party? Like what are they doing? I think they're still going to keep their consoles.
I know we're going through our predictions, but I want to throw one in there only because mine is along the same things as you're talking about. So, as you have that, I put that Halo Infinite will be on PlayStation 5. And I think it's a good thing. Here's my thing though, is I know that they just did a couple, they've done several layoffs. Microsoft has.
Yeah.
Um, and I know that the system did not sell what they wanted it to sell. Um, but here's the crazy thing is like I just and I haven't played enough Starfield, so if you love Starfield, great. I feel like Starfield would be on other consoles because they spent so much money on that game and it did not perform. Um, I could see they think the thing I saw today is like you could see Gears of War on a PlayStation console, and I was like, and I'm not a fanboy by any means, but I'm like, God, that's kind of awesome to be able to play Gears of War or Halo. Uh, and they own Call of Duty, so there's that. It I know,
It is, but you have to take all that stuff with a grain of salt because for every cool thing like that, how many hundreds of people lose their jobs because
yes,
it's no
absolutely.
longer affiliated with just one console.
It's a sad thing. The one thing that I would think would benefit would be people that don't own. Not everybody in this country is kind of like us, where we own like all the consoles.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So those people that have to pick one console, like a PlayStation, that's what they picked, would be able to play some of these games that they've probably never played before.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think the people that lost their jobs, it sucks. Layoffs are never good. I've been through a layoff before. It's not fun, and so I hope things go well with them. But I do think that, and I know Phil Spector said today that he's going to say there'll be something next week.
Mm.
Um, I don't think I think it's too early for them to stop doing consoles. So I feel like you're right on that. But you know what? Like their console that sold the best was the Halo console they did. Like, I don't think they'll ever do another special edition, but that would be where I would think do a special edition, but
Hmm.
they'll never do another special edition. Now that they have those wraps now, no. I don't know if you saw the Starfield wrap.
I hate the
There's
wraps. The
I
wraps look stupid.
yeah, they do. But it's not like the PlayStation where you pop off the
Which is
sides
so
and bam.
cool. That's so much
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Because I was telling my son, he's like, "Do you think we'll ever see a special edition PlayStation?" I'm like, "Why?" It's basically a PlayStation 5. If you change those, now it's a special edition.
Just let everyone have a special edition. Just let them buy the faceplates. Yeah, easy, done.
Yeah.
Sell the
Yeah.
faceplates for expensive.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. What is it? The Spider-Man one?
Yeah.
Now that did come with a Spider-Man controller, but how cool is it that you're getting those there? Because you can't even buy those anymore. The
Hmm.
side panels are done. You cannot find them anywhere. They are sold out. You can
Yeah.
pay a lot more on eBay.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting like the other colors though, because the other colors are really nice. Like the black or the pinkish one is a really nice color. Um, yeah, they're all
The
cool.
That's the one. My son just got that,
Oh
the
yeah.
pinkish one, and it looks really cool when it's lit up and everything.
Hmm.
I still have the white. I know
I mean, I
there's a
still
lot
have
of
the
things
same
I need to
white
do
one.
on my PlayStation. I want to do that, and I want to get more RAM like you did, um, or more storage. I'm sorry, more
Yeah,
storage. So yeah,
two
I'm behind.
terabytes, 2 terabytes in this thing now. It's not worth it, but it's cool.
I think it kind of is worth it though, because then you're not like, oh wait, what do I have to delete now?
So that's the main thing is because I was afraid because I have Persona now, and I'm gonna have these other games now. So I was like, man, I'm gonna have to start deleting things because Final Fantasy is probably gonna be pretty big because it's supposed to be 2 discs and all this other stuff.
Right?
Um, so I was like, man, I probably should get something bigger storage, and then like compared to the two, like the 1 terabyte versus the 2 terabyte, it was like a $30 or $40 difference. And so it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
just pay the 200, just get the M.2 that's a 2 terabyte, go for it. Yeah, I got the one. I think it was on sale too, technically. Um, but yeah, I got the one that is a WD black, and it's a PlayStation branded one, so it has like a heat sink like already on it and all that stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
so
Yeah, I think yeah. So it'd be interesting, and like you said, I know it's getting to the point where Phil Spector said that there's news coming. So we've already seen a State of Play and then a Final Fantasy thing from Sony, I would not be surprised if Microsoft does something in the next week or so.
Also, FYI,
Just
I just noticed you said Phil Spector. You mean Phil Spencer?
that's what I meant.
You're thinking of Harvey Specter still. You're thinking of
I
Super.
know. Yeah. I know. It's been a day. But yeah, so we'll wait there. So I guess you could jump into your third one. I didn't know we were gonna have so many that were along the same lines.
I have another that's Xboxy, but I want to leave it for later. So we'll
I
start
was
with,
gonna
huh?
I was gonna leave that Halo one. I was gonna leave that for the end because you're gonna be. I was waiting for you to go. That is such crap. It's not. And but
No,
the
I
fact
believe
that
it.
you were right there, yeah,
Mine, my last one's crazy, so we'll see about that. Mine's just gonna be Kingdom Hearts 4 will not release this year
that's a safe bet. That's totally safe.
because now I would have said otherwise earlier, but they're still in beta for Missing Link, the mobile game, and so I feel like they're gonna want this mobile game out for a little bit, and then they'll have their other game out because I'm sure there's gonna be stuff tying to it. Um, so yeah, because they love their lore. So I think that yeah, Kingdom Hearts 4 is definitely gonna not be out this year. We might see like a trailer maybe after Missing Link comes out or whatever. But yeah, I think it might be next year. Honestly, this isn't part of the prediction, but like it might be like next year, like around the end of January, like how 3 was,
Yeah,
where that gave enough time for like the other mobile game to do some things, and we saw a
uh,
few trailers and
right.
whatever thing is Tokyo Game Show and all that.
I hope they show a trailer. Um, my thought is there's going to be Marvel and Star Wars in this one.
I mean, we
Um,
saw
well,
uh
yeah,
Yavin 4 or
yeah.
whatever.
Which how cool would it be that Sora has a lightsaber? I mean, that's oh god, that's just the thoughts of that are pretty sick.
What if he didn't? What if he had like the dark saber or something like that?
I mean, to be honest, I would be okay either way.
I think
Um,
it'd be cool.
I mean, still into this day when he was in Tron's world,
Hmm.
that's one of my favorite levels of Kingdom Hearts, just because he was in the whole Tron outfit and just looked just awesome. Um, I mean, I think definitely it would be even cooler is if you're doing levels because I know you could pick people to like go with you, right?
Hmm.
They've got to make Chewbacca one of those characters. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I think Chewbacca is totally fits in that Disney universe. I want to run around killing things with Chewbacca.
I think Chewbacca's too dangerous for a game.
Oh, nah.
He's gonna be
I mean,
ripping everyone's arms off.
if you look, what was it? Disney Infinity. He was in there. He was ripping arms off.
Yeah, but that's super like childlike, and like same thing with like Legos where he's ripping off Lego arms.
That
Whereas
is true.
whereas with this game, like it's gonna be more realistic. So I don't if they want to
I
keep their
mean,
ratings, I don't know if they're gonna do that.
in Battlefront 1 and 2, he is a playable character. Yeah, he's in both.
Yeah.
Um, and he just had some pretty cool moves. No one's arms got ripped off.
Just gonna have his
Every
crossbow.
yeah, mostly that. Well, he had this one where he would like jump really high and slam on the ground, sort of move. Which, if you were in the vicinity and you were near like an area where there's like a pit or something, done. You're gone.
Yeah.
I hated it. But you know what I don't hate is having energy to get through the day and feeling great. So I want to talk a little bit about Magic Mind. And so we've talked about it on the podcast before. Magic Mind are friends of the show. They are a all natural energy drink. And one thing they state with theirs especially is everything's all natural. It's sourced from the best suppliers. No sugar, nut free, vegan free, keto, and paleo friendly. I know me personally, before I started taking it, I would have 2 cups of coffees in the morning, and then 2 in the afternoon because whenever that caffeine would hit, it would just drop. Magic Mind, I don't do that. I stay focused during the day, which is pretty crazy, and I don't have that. I mean, what about you, Alex? I know we both have been using Magic Mind for a while now.
Yeah, definitely. It it's just so much better, and I just feel more energized throughout the day for sure. And just like how you said, um, I'm not really a coffee person. I was more of a soda person, so I was just drinking soda like in the morning to wake me up, and then you know how like those types of sugars you crash very easily, and
Mhm.
then you fall asleep at your lunchtime, and it's like, oh man, I gotta get to work. I'm sleeping too
Yeah,
long. Whereas with Magic Mind, like I take a gulp of Magic Mind, and um not like I don't know, like pretty soon afterwards, like I'm like, oh, I just had Magic Mind, and like I feel it, and I'm very productive the rest of the day. Yeah, I think of it a la akin to what's his name, like Popeye, you know. It's
yes,
like
this is spinach.
Popeye taking his spinach. Like that's how I feel with my Magic Mind, where I'm just like, I have the power to do my work, and just be a lot more productive. And I appreciate that because like we do work, you know, we do our like normal jobs and stuff. Like this isn't our job. We do our normal jobs, and then afterwards, when everything's calm and collected in the night, then we start doing this, and we have the energy to do this because of Magic Mind. So yeah, I really do appreciate Magic Mind for just giving us the energy to do this podcast.
Yeah, and one thing that they've done because they are friends of the show is so they're giving us an opportunity to give you a 20% off code for a one-time purchase of Magic Mind. This would be great for you to go and just, get the small pack, try it out, see what you think. Um, all you have to do is go to magicmind.com/ get at it. That is magicmind.com/GETATIT and use the code get at it 20, which would be GETATIT 20. If you go there, use that code, your first purchase, you get 20% off. And I think one thing is before we even started using this product, we both were laughing like, what if this thing, we don't like it? What if it's gross? What if it doesn't work? Uh, Best part is they have a 100% money back guarantee, no questions asked. If you don't like it, they will refund you within 3 to 4 hours. Crazy, unheard of things. So definitely check them out. Magic, so that's magicmind.com/get at it with the code get at it 20. All right. So we've gone through 3 each here. I want to say that I'm super surprised that ours have been so closely. I don't have Kingdom Hearts, but I feel like ours have been closer than they ever have doing a prediction show, like ever.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do my number 4. I'm gonna save this other one for the last. This last is gonna be a big one that you're gonna laugh at, and you'll be like, "You
You're,
need
you're
to."
gonna laugh at my last one too because I think it's funny.
I wanted to go all the way out. I wanted to be like, "I'm gonna throw this out there,"
Hmm.
and so this one here, you would not surprise. Ghost of Tsushima 2 will come out this winter.
I don't think so
I
too.
feel so. Here's the thing: is like when
they
I
have a,
saw
they
the
have that other game.
Rise of Ronin.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's not.
I know.
It's not, and I think Ghost was such a high selling game for them
Hmm.
that came out of nowhere. I remember the first time that me, you, and Spencer looked at it. We were all looking at it, and we're like, "Oh, I don't know if I like the camera angles. I don't know if you can't lock on people." I was like, "I love this game, and I am going to buy it," and I did, and I platinumed it twice.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like it's been enough time. They've already been working on it for a while now, especially since they already done the DLC for the other, and they did the director's cut. It's got to be somewhere there. I want to say I should have put the new a trailer this year, but I was like, let's go all out. I feel like it should come out this winter, whether it's December, whether it's January. I mean, it's got to come out. And I feel like they're not going to do another God of War this year. I know they're working on another God of War, but I would think if they put another God of War out before they do another Ghost, I don't know. Every time I watch a state of play, there's always a few people that say, "How about Ghost 2? Where's Ghost 2?"
Mm.
So they've got to know it's on people's radar.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, like I don't know what's happening this year. It's so early. So I don't know what's happening for Sony in the winter time. So yeah, maybe there is something like that. Maybe there is something else that we're just not thinking of. Maybe there's Jack and Daxter.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I really don't know what's gonna happen because we just got that DLC for God of War, so I don't think we're seeing any
mm,
God of War anytime soon. Spider Man just happened. If anything, we're gonna see Spider Man DLC maybe, and then I don't know what else. I mean, there's other things here or there, but like, yeah, I can't really think of like a big blockbuster hit for December just yet. I'm thinking about all the other things that like they showed at the PlayStation State of Play, but either those things come out earlier than then, or I don't think they're gonna hit as hard. So yeah, it really just
no.
depends.
Well, and I thought
If you were to tell
Wolverine.
me though that yeah, if you were to tell me that Ghost of Tsushima 2 was going to come out this winter, um, I'd probably believe you honestly.
Well, and I thought maybe Wolverine, but they've already said Wolverine's not till 2025.
At the
Um,
earliest, at this point, they
yeah.
might just redo everything
Oh
because it
yeah.
got leaked. So
And like Death Stranding 2,
it's
not.
next year.
Yeah, it's gonna be next year, and it's gonna be late next year.
I
It's
love
so.
that trailer.
Do you think? You know what's funny? Because I know he's doing a game with Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Do you think he said it to him before it came out? He goes, "Hey, this is my new game," and Jordan's like, "Love it." It's just enough of weird, creepy things going on. Um,
Yeah.
like I was like, "This looks great," and then all of a sudden the puppet started talking. I'm like, "What is happening? What
Yeah.
is that?" And you brought up the point of like the puppet doesn't even look like it's. It looks like Stop Shot. It doesn't look like it's the same
Well, there's
engine
other
as.
puppets too. Like there was like a cat one or some sort of like bird maybe that was on Guillermo del Toro's like short
Yeah,
as well. But yeah, I don't know because the whole Jordan Peele thing, like that's a thing for Xbox, right? Um, so I don't
well,
know what
I
all
think
we're
they're.
gonna see.
I think they're working together for PlayStation. I don't know if it's just Xbox or.
No, I was pretty sure that was the Xbox game because there is an Xbox game that's coming out by him, and then there's the other thing, which was like um the two other PlayStation things. So I was pretty sure that was an Xbox thing, but who knows at this
Do you
point.
think Konami ever sits back and goes, "Oh man, we screwed up. We should not have let him
No,
go."
because in their minds they're like, well, we own Metal Gear and we can do with it as we see fit. We can keep releasing it and people will still buy it because it's Metal Gear.
I mean, I got a Metal Gear over there, so I can't complain. Um, but yeah, I think this summer we'll get a trailer. I think it won't be anytime. I think because they don't do E3 anymore, but they still do a big state of play in June.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we see the big one or what's supposed to come out in fall, they're going to show a trailer.
Yeah.
That's not my prediction, but yeah. All right. What do you got for us? I like how you're smiling already. That's kind of scary. That means it's a good one.
So I think I got this from what's his name? Gene. I forget his last name. He's on is it Gene Park? He's on like Colin stuff lately. He's the guy from Wall Street Journal.
Yeah,
Um
I've seen
but
him
he's
on
a
there.
really cool and interesting guy. Um it might have been from him, it might have been from someone else on Twitter, but I remember seeing pictures of different places and how barren they were. So my prediction is most stores will not carry Xbox One games physically. Only certain stores, like GameStop, will have them.
A good one. We've already seen Best Buy is going to stop carrying physical media entirely. And you know what? When you go into like some of these stores, I don't see a ton of Xbox stuff. to be
You
honest, like
see
physical.
codes, you see things for Game Pass, and you see controllers and systems. You don't really see many games unless they were games that have already just been out,
Yep.
and they're clearance. Otherwise, new stuff you don't really see a whole lot.
Which is crazy because I feel like when you walk in, you got this big section of PS5 and PS4, small section of Xbox, but it's like at Walmart, right? And then a big section of Switch.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's. I mean, to be honest, they're really. I I know people are like upset about the whole physical media going away. I think there'll still be physical media because physical media sells so well. Um, but man, we're just starting to see that. And I'm a big physical media person. I don't want to have to go to like limited run to buy my physical stuff anymore. You know what I mean? Like that's my only fear is like, oh well, you could buy it from limited run now because if you want a copy of Ghost of Tsushima 2, you got to buy the physical copy through limited run. And I don't want to do that. So I
Hmm.
kind of hope that doesn't come true. But I own 4 Xbox games for Xbox. I actually for Xbox Series X, I own one. I own Halo and Infinite, and that's for my. So I bought the collector's edition.
Yeah,
So
I own like 3 Xbox One games physically, and then like otherwise there's like backwards compatible games that work and all that. But like the thing that really brought this prediction about is the whole recent thing of them like laying off a bunch of people, and
yeah,
like one of the departments that was laid off were the people in charge of like physical media and stuff on the physical games being sent off and created and all that. So I think it's definitely going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen for the other consoles necessarily, but this is more specific towards Xbox because of all that, and then because of Game Pass. Um, Now, as we talked about earlier with the multi-platform stuff, like you might see a copy of, assuming this actually is a thing and goes through, you might see a copy of, let's say, Indiana Jones and the something circle or whatever it's called. You might see that on PlayStation 5 physical, but you might not see the Xbox version because they're like, oh, just get Game Pass. So
I kind of go on a little tangent. If that ends up happening, that they aren't producing consoles anymore and they just do they just do games. What a weird feeling that's gonna be because it really is like the whole Sega thing, except for Sega just you know, uh, Sega's was different. When they did the Genesis, and then they were like, they wouldn't jump on price or anything like that. I literally felt the downfall of Xbox when they did their press release for the Xbox One, and they're like, "Oh, well, you can't use rentals and you can't use used. You have to buy your stuff brand new." I felt like that was like a downfall for them because you can walk. I mean, you're seeing more PS5s, but how many times have you walked into a store and they have like a ton of Xbox One Series X's? Um,
yeah,
they have a ton of the digital one. Um, you know, do you think at some point they'll clearance those all out? If that happens,
no.
it's hard to do a
I think they'll
console.
probably, if anything, send them back somewhere, break them apart, and take the chips and makes other things.
I remember the only thing I ever saw was the Xbox One special editions, like the Forza, not the big ones. Like I think Forza, I guess, is a big one, but like I saw the Gears of War one at Walmart at one point for $100. You know,
Hmm.
um, because they had just so many consoles. So it should be interesting to see if that happens or not. Okay, so here is my last one, and you can laugh all you want, but I feel like this is like legit. Um, I feel that the GameCube will be coming to the Nintendo Online service.
Maybe, maybe I don't know.
I feel like everything's been cartridge based for the most part because cartridge based sometimes is easier to emulate. But man, there's a love relationship with the GameCube, and I feel like that some of those GameCube games have just gotten so expensive. Now, if you are a reseller or you're a collector, if that happens and they're like, "Oh, hey, here's Pokemon Box," or here's some of those crazy titles for the GameCube, I'm sorry because your prices are going to drop.
I feel like GameCube prices have been going down lately. Places I've been, places I've looked, there are certain games that have definitely decreased as time has gone on, but I think they're not going to, because all the GameCube games, because of just how they are, they've just been all getting remasters instead, or
Mhm.
quote unquote remakes, like Metroid Prime or Mario Thousand Year Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, Pikmin 1 and 2. Um, there are others to list here, but like yeah, there are plenty of GameCube games that will probably just get remakes instead.
But like the Star Fox game where he's on the dinosaur island, that will never get remade.
Well, it's
Uh,
also a rare title, so I don't know if that's
oh yeah,
actually gonna even show up. And also, does anyone want it? No one likes Star Fox
no,
Adventures.
no.
Dinosaur
I,
Planet.
I
Get out of
I
here.
remember it's so funny. I remember like playing it once, and I was like crouching to like crawl on the ground, and it took forever to try and figure out the buttons to get up.
You gotta feed that dinosaur or something. Tricky? Is it
Yeah,
tricky? Because I think it's the same dinosaur from Don Diddy Kong Racing.
yeah.
There's a Triceratops in Diddy Kong Racing that's like huge. I think it's called Tricky.
I feel like there's not much left to put on there. Like system wise,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could do 3DS, I guess, on there, but I just feel like or or Wii U, but I feel like there was not enough Wii U titles to even do that. Plus, you're right, most of those have already been remade.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I still would stick with the GameCube. I should have put 3DS because that's a cartridge based system. That could be the next
I think it's too soon.
one there. Yeah, I don't picture in the next year or so. I
Virtual
do
Boy.
hope. What's that?
It's a Virtual Boy.
Oh my gosh, no one wants that. I had a friend that had one. Short story, he had one. This kid had everything. His parents were rich. He had the TurboGrafx 16 growing up. He had the Virtual Boy. So like everyone was friends with him, but they were only friends with him to go to his house and play his games. He was kind of a jerk. I'm sorry if he's listening. You were a jerk. Hopefully you grew up and did good things. So like the time I got over, I lived really close. And he's like, "Hey, you want to come over after school?" I said, "Yeah." To my parents where I was going, rode my bike over. We go in. He goes, "Check it out. It's Virtual Boy." And I'm like, "This is sweet, right?" I get in there. I play a little bit of the tennis, and then all of a sudden, I feel a pain in my eye, and I had like the worst migraine ever. So try to ride your bike.
Did you
Yeah,
crash?
no, I didn't crash. I crashed a lot on that bike. How I'm still alive is and I didn't wear a helmet. I wore no helmet.
No one wore a helmet back then.
No, my kids wear helmets when they ride theirs because I yeah, but no, I mean, I remember one time I took it off a ramp that someone made in dirt, and I didn't know how far down it was.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't wreck, didn't wreck. And they were like, "Hey, we didn't tell you we built like the water thing at the bottom of it. You just couldn't see it. We just figured you'd wreck." You do realize in real life that could have broke my neck and I could have been paralyzed or
Kids don't know
whatever.
or care.
No, no, no. But yeah, I I think that that is just a. I don't know. If people like collecting for it. There was only what like 15 games, maybe 20. I think there's like one specific. I watched the Angry Video Game Nerd. He did it all in one episode.
Hmm.
So,
I don't know.
well, hey, that's our prediction video.
No,
Video.
I still have one more.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry. I went first. I jumped again. Okay, Alex, what is the big one?
This is the crazy one. Um,
Is it or you just?
Final Fantasy VII will have another game announced later this year. Dirge of Cerberus or something similar. Like another Final Fantasy VII game?
I mean, that is not so far out of the rim because Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, and then we got Crisis Core. And when they announced Crisis Core, I felt that came out of so out of left field. And Vincent is in the trailer for the new Final Fantasy. I mean, so is Zach, but I feel like that's not a.
Yeah.
Does that mean there's a chance they're gonna redo the bouncer?
No, there's not. But
Dang it.
Dirge of Cerberus, I guess it's technically a sequel if I recall. So like I don't know if that would technically work. Um unless there's, although I don't know. Like I don't want to go into Final Fantasy 7 spoilers and what have you just because like the game's coming out fairly soon and um but like there's stuff that references Dirge of Cerberus in the Yuffie DLC stuff, the intergrade whatever. Um so like there's more about that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they announced something like that. Or maybe like the Turks game or whatever. I'm curious to see how well this mobile game Ever Crisis is actually doing. Because I started playing it like when it first came out and did some of it. After a while, I fell off of it very quickly just because there's no incentive. Um, the gacha is horrible. Um, yeah, there's just not much to do there. If anything, it'd make more sense maybe to remake First Soldier, but like make it
Mhm.
like a first, I don't know, make a first person shooter that's not on mobile, and yeah, just make First Soldier because it seems like First Soldier is going to matter for this next game here, this Rebirth game, because it talks about when Sephiroth was like a young soldier in Soldier, I guess. So before he became the main number one soldier. Um, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see if any of our predictions actually come true.
I feel like that's. I know you said this is crazy, but I in the realm of like what they've done so far, it's really not out there very far. You know,
Yeah.
um, I never played that game at all. I remember at Blockbuster seeing it, and when I worked there, and I was like, "What is this?" You know, and I was, but I remember seeing it. I remember seeing it. Um, I think that'd be a cool one to do, but because I never liked Crisis Core on PSP, but I love it the PS5 version.
Mm-hmm.
So the new version that came out with. So I don't know. I don't think that's and you don't have anything on there about me buying Grand Theft Auto 5,
I do
correct?
not.
So if I ended up with it, it's okay.
I don't know. Did you end up with it?
Not yet.
Okay.
I mean, but if it goes to for $10 for PS5, I may have to buy it.
All
I
right.
mean,
You're
my son
free.
my son the other day was downloading it and he was playing it. And he's like, "Dad, you got to play it so you can play with me and my buddies." And I said, "Here's my problem." I said, "They fixed this because I remember I was doing the heist online. And I think I told you about
You
this.
did.
I was in the middle of the mission and someone came with one of those rocket jet things, like the bikes, blew me up, failed the mission, had to start the mission over again. That's not okay. I think if you want people to do these crazy mission things, you can't. Well, my son actually did it. And I said, "Man, did you get all the millions?" He's like, "Nah." I says, "After like we got done and we, divvied it up, it was like 250,000 a piece." I'm like, "That doesn't seem like it was worth all the work you did."
Yeah.
They're right now casing out to rob the casino.
Mm.
So yeah. So I don't know. He said the problem is you have to turn certain things off now because otherwise you'll be walking down the street and then people have jets and tanks and they'll just blow you up
Mm-hmm.
and it's not fun. So I don't know. If it gets to be $10, I might have to purchase it on PS5. I won't ever play the story again. I've done every different change that I could do to make it seem different. So
Yeah.
yeah. Well, this was our prediction um, podcast. We will definitely be coming back after the next year to see how close we are on these. I in the time we've done these, this has been the closest on almost everything except for one or two on mine. This has been the closest of actually us doing really good predictions, um, which is crazy. So if you love this, definitely think of hitting us up on Spotify, following our podcast. That way you can get it whenever it launches. We launch once every other week. And, check us out on Facebook, on X, on Threads. Definitely go there just to check us out and say, hey, what's up? We would love to. Um, we've got big things this year happening. So if you're following us on those social media, you'll be able to check those out. We've got things happening in the next couple weeks that will, once we get things worked out, we'll definitely bring those out to everybody. Yeah. Do you have anything else to say?
Not much except get at it.
Get at it.